Anybody that would like to leave a donation, the church does not retain any of those funds. 50% goes to the presenter and 50% goes to the CSC for helping out the community, just so you're aware of that. Okay, at this point, Nerly.
Nice and close. People always remind me. Is this close enough?
That's good.
Oh, good. Just a note on the donations. Roberto has indicated that any of his share of the donations are to be given back to the church, because the church does such amazing work in the community with dispenses and medical supplies. So thank you very much. So give generously to your church and the community. And medical supplies, I noticed, thank you Norva for saying when you're going back home, but if you have any extra medical supplies or appliances, walkers, crutches, any of that you're not using now, they definitely can be put to good use here in the community. So thank you very much. And my name is Mary Lee Frith, and I have the honor, put this down, I think I remember, again this year, of introducing my good friend, Dr. Roberto Pimienta Wu. Did I say that right? You know, those R's really are hard to roll. Now, Dr. Wu's name may not sound all that Mexican to you, and for good reason. Dr. Wu's maternal grandfather is from China, or was from China, and so he is not Latino, he's Latino. Now, like most of us, Roberto is not from this town. He was born in Santiago, Nayarit, and his family had an ice factory there, which is quite an interesting story as well. He later studied medicine in Guadalajara at the biggest medical school in North America. And when he graduated, he had opportunities in Guadalajara because he did very well at the university, but he wanted to come to a small community in need, and he wanted to put his mind and his hands and probably his heart to good use in this community. So he practiced medicine for many years among his other hobbies, but for the last 20 years or so, he has been researching extensively on the history and colonization of the west coast of Mexico. And after decades of delivering babies, this past fall, he birthed his first book, a nonfiction book called Dos Antiguos Navegantes, etc. And it's about the indigenous peoples and the seafaring adventurers as well, who made their homes in our happy place in the Costa Alegre. His book is, in fact, the first history book written about the town of Melaque and San Patricio. Today he's going to share in words and with pictures the life and times of our Melaque and San Patricio ancestors. And I know he will thank you, but he really appreciates this opportunity to speak on one of his most favorite subjects ever. And without further ado, I will pass the mic to Roberto.
Thank you very much. ¿Cómo están? ¿Bien? Do Spanish. I just want to say thanks to Pastor Al, all his team, Merely. This is my third time here, and this time we want to talk only about two topics: the times in San Patricio and the times at Melaque. Melaque was first than the foundation of San Patricio. I'm going to talk about that. In this picture here, you can see that they took that picture in the close to the 50s, 1950, because the canal wasn't there. The Duri Canal was Melaque. So the canal was built in 1956 to release the water from the flooding for the rainy season. So that picture is when the black and white pictures were taken. But that was from the hill, you can see. And if you remember this picture, you're going to remember that there were the restaurants, few restaurants. Actually, there were only 3 restaurants in those days. 3 restaurants. And before that, in 1532, was the first area that the Spaniards start building a shipyard. 1532. Remember, the first, or we call the old shipyard, because there were 2. And in 1557, they built or rebuilt the old one, and they built better infrastructure to send the ships to Canada, California, Philippines. And between San Blas was 200 years later than Melaque. So the name of Melaque is not the real name. The real name is Melaca, Melacca. And where this name come from, and why the name arrived here, why we have this name. The name Melaca comes from Malaysia, from Singapore area. In Singapore, there is a Melaque and Melaka. The big town is Melaka. So before Columbus and before the Spaniards, the Portuguese were here. And in that area, Malaysia, the Portuguese kicked the Chinese out, and the Portuguese stayed in that area for 130 years, and then the Dutch came, and the Dutch kicked out the Portuguese. But in those days, while the Portuguese stayed in Malaysia 130 years, they were moving around, and they arrived here. And they start trading with the locals Indians. The Portuguese brought things that the Indians in this area liked it, and they bought things from the Indians. So they were trading. But you remember that when Columbus came in 1492 to America, well, the Spaniards say, well, we are the kings of the world now, because we have this place that before the Portuguese called the land of the impure souls, because no religions, nothing. But when the Portuguese came here, they put this name, Melaca, to relate where the place where they come from. And Melaca means a safe harbor, stopover, factory. And that, when I saw factory, I thought salt. They were producing salt, and that so that they call factories. But no, they call factories because the agents, the commercial agents, Portuguese, in Portuguese they call factors, and the factors were the people, the agents that trade with the Indians and with the communities. Just to remember, Cihuatlan, we are in the municipality of Cihuatlan. Okay, the municipality of Cihuatlan had in those days 27 communities, Indians, around the river Marabasco and this area, including this, that in those days was different Indian name. It was another town, the name was Acatlan. Acatlan was close to La Calechosa. La Calechosa beach is in front of Cuasticomares. So that hill was named Acatlan. Acatlan means in Nahuatl place of sugar canes. And I want to tell you what happened with this town, because when the pirates came to Melaque in 1587, they destroyed that little town. They burned the town. They killed people. They burned a chapel there. I'm talking 1587. And they were looking pearls. But I will tell you this interesting story ahead. Okay, can you go? So that's the first name, Melaque. Then the Indians didn't speak proper Spanish, and they distort the names. And then where are you going? Oh, we're going to Maleques. Instead of saying Melaque, they say Maleques. So Maleques, and then became Melaque. So here you can see Acatlan, that's the name, Acatlan, and here is Melaque and Puerto de la Natividad. That was the name that the viceroy from Spain put the name of the whole bay, Puerto de la Natividad, because they arrived December 25th, and they used to name the area they discovered with the day of the same, of the event. So you can see that picture there is an old one. You can see Laguna del Tule there, different areas with no houses in Barra. Melaque was almost empty. But the Laguna del Tule was a really good lagoon. You can see over there. The Laguna provide food. They provide minerals. The Portuguese and the Dutch, they knew that in order to not be sick from escorbuto, you know, is a lack of vitamin C, and people in those days died because they didn't know that eating limes or oranges or guanabanas or guavas, that they could survive, but they didn't know. But the Spaniards didn't know, and the Spaniards sailors died faster than the other one. So when the Portuguese arrived here, they went straight to the Laguna del Tule to get anonas. The anonas are similar to guanabana, and they rich in vitamin C. So Laguna del Tule, La Laguna del Tule was the biggest area in anonas in the whole Pacific area. So it's for that many navigators or sailors stop here, because we have churros, pork, we have so many things, and they stop here. So the Spaniards were here too, but they say, okay guys, you came first, so first come first serve, so that the Portuguese had control of this area. And the name Melaque, what came from Singapore, where they were there for 130 years. So, but something happened in 1494. You remember the Tratado de Tordesillas, where the king of Spain and the king of Portugal and the Pope divide the world in two. So from here to here is Portugal, from here is Spain. So Melaque was out of the control of the Portuguese. That passed to the hands of the Spaniards. So they couldn't come back, but they left the name and they left the contacts here. The communities always talk about these people that came. Say, oh, people, big guys with long hair and a lot of hairy body. So they describe the Portuguese pretty good. And they didn't. This happened in Puerto Vallarta too, in El Tuito. In El Tuito, when Cortés went there, they found that natives knew how to pray, and some people know how to build crosses. And then Cortés said, "How come? Nobody came here. We're the first one." But they didn't know that they came from the ocean. That's Tratado de Tordesillas. So this side, Spain, and then Portugal. So I wonder if Colón knew that he discovered America and not India. Maybe he had information. Okay, the next one, please. Okay, I just want to talk about this because in the Mexican books they talk about earthquakes, and the Indians were really afraid of earthquakes. And here was one of the areas more motivated for earthquakes. And from the 1400s, we have information how the earthquake destroyed the little houses with fragile infrastructure. So here you can see we are in let's say Placa de Rivera. There's Melaque in that area, but we have Placa Intercontinental or Norteamericana, then Placa Rivera, Placa del Pacífico, Placa de Cocos, but 40 kilometers to the ocean, there is Placa Jalisco. So we are connected with so many plates, tectonic plates. So that happened in May 27 of 1563. And in those days, the Spaniards were building the shipyard, the new shipyard here, because the old one in 1542, they left the old shipyard because not much to do. No life around, no people. The cities were far away, like Guadalajara. Mexico City was, I don't know, one month traveling, riding a horse. But this earthquake was at the Richter scale was 8.0 in those days. And how many houses we had in Melaque? Around 20. So they, boom, destroyed. And guess what? We had a royal house. The royal house is where the Spanish authorities stayed there. It had a small jail and a small chapel, a church, and got destroyed. So they brought 150 Indians to reconstruct the royal house. So this is something that we talk, but I say that the community name Acatlan, and Acatlan was famous because the people living there, many were Afro descendants, and the Afro descendants had permission from the King of Spain to die for pearls, more than the Indians, because the black people had long capacity for diving, and they had a lot of pearls. So Acatlan was famous for that, and Manzanillo, Salagua, Santiago, they knew that if you want to get good pearls, go to Acatlan. So Acatlan was close to Comares. Okay, can we pass it on? Okay. I'm going to say about the Acatlan later when we reach the topic with the pirate, with Thomas Cavendish, because he destroyed the town in order to get some pearls. So this is Donald D. Brand, is an American author that spent many years in this Pacific coast, Michoacan, Jalisco, Nayarit, Sinaloa, and he was a teacher in one university in the States. And he wrote about the day that Urdaneta and Legazpi left Melaque at 4 in the morning to the expedition to Philippines from there, in Punta Melaque. Why Punta Melaque? Why the shipyard was there? Because in 1542, one guy named Roy Lopez de Villalobos left Melaque with 6 ships to Philippines. He couldn't make the return trip. The Portuguese were in Philippines and they killed him, but one of the guys with him survived, Juan Pablo de Carrion. So he came back to Melaque via Spain and started rebuilding the shipyard, and he built the 4 ships that went to Philippines. So he couldn't go with them in that day because he argued with Urdaneta and Legazpi. He didn't agree to go straight to Filipinas because Filipinas was rented for the Portuguese to the king of Spain. So this guy Urdaneta didn't want to go straight to Philippines. At the end, they did it, and Juan Pablo didn't go. He stayed, and he came back like 20 years later. He was old. He was old man in those days. 65 years old, 68 was old. Yeah, and at the end, the king of Spain sent Juan Pablo Carreon. We're talking about 1587. So he went back to Philippines to attack the Japanese, and he and like 1,000 sailors kicked out all the Japanese and Chinese from Philippines, and this was that Spain control after Spain kicked out the Portuguese from Philippines, the Chinese and the Japanese. So Spain say, well, this is our land. And they start controlling for 250 years, the trips from Philippines to Acapulco. Because 1 year after that day, in 1565, the king moved the shipyard from Melaque to Acapulco. And then all the infrastructure, the development, and the work finished, terminado, because they moved everything to Acapulco. Business, because it was close to Mexico City. And every month, when the galleon from Manila came to Acapulco, was thousands of people from Mexico City buying things. And they organized a flea market in Zocalo, Mexico City, just for goodies coming from Philippines. Okay, so you can see the way they build the ships. And with that, I'm talking about the Viceroy Antonio de Mendoza when he arrived December 25th of 1540. And there, a friend of mine sent me that old map And you can see here, this is Laguna de Barra, and that is the bay, Melaque Bay, or Puerto La Navidad, and the ships were in that area, in Punta Melaque. So that's another a comment from one of the captains of one of the ship, how they did it. Tuesday, 21st of November, 4 hours before the dawn, we left Melaque and we moved to the Philippines. So this captain, Esteban Rodriguez, was the main pilot. And they left from this area here. You know, the lumberjack was there where the trailer park is now. That was the place to cut the wood. They brought the wood from Outland, El Grullo, many areas had really good wood to build ships. Okay, another one. So that is one impression that how the ships were here. But we have important people. I talk about Urdaneta, Legazpi. Those two names are in thousand books in many languages around the world. But they don't talk about the other ones, like Juan Pablo Carrión. Juan Pablo Carrión was a kind of crazy guy, liberal, but he was important in this area. And when he didn't want to go to Philippines because he didn't agree with the general Legazpi and Urdaneta, well, he went back to Colima to live there until he went back to Spain and make a deal with the king Felipe, and Felipe sent him at the age of 68 when he was old to go and attack the Chinese and the Japanese, and he was successful. But few people, well, actually two Spanish authors wrote a book about this guy, Juan Pablo Carrión. There are many things that I found more than those guys in Spain, and I'm sharing with a lot of people. And that is going to be part of my other book only about these guys that I'll mention now. For example, in 1540, Pedro de Alvarado had 12 boats there in the bay, 12. And you know why? Because they brought 12 boats full of soldiers to attack the Indians in Zacatecas. They went to attack and kill thousand Indians because they didn't want to give the mines, the gold and silver mines to the Spaniards. So it was a big war. And at the end, they took the leader, the Namastle, and they took it to Spain. The guy didn't spoke Spanish, and he died there. He ended up begging on the street, blind, and left all his family in Zacatecas. But they killed Pedro de Alvarado, and the boats here, well, some went to Philippines and some went back to Acapulco. The other guy, Francisco de Bolaños, went to California. Then Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo went to Philippines, but they killed this guy there. And then November 1st of 1542, as I say, Ruy Lopez de Villalobos with 6 boats went to Philippines, and he couldn't make the return trip. And until November 21st of 1564, Legazpi and Urdaneta made the return trip. But one of the boats with 10 guys was lost in the ocean, And they were the first one to reach Philippines, and they discovered the return trip. So it wasn't Urdaneta, the first one. The first one was this guy, Lope Martin, Afro-Portuguese. But because the kings were angry, they almost killed this guy because they said, oh no, you did that on purpose. You don't want the glory for the other one. But anyway, the story never give the tribute to him. And so those people, and I'm talking about Juan Pablo Carrion, returned to Spain and then went to Philippines. Okay, well, you know, everybody knows what is this cocos. The coconuts don't come from this area. The coconuts came from Solomon Island. And Alvaro de Mendaña was a Spanish-Portuguese. He was dual citizenship with Spanish and Portuguese. And in 1569, in really bad conditions, arrived to Salagua, close to Manzanillo. And there, to say thanks to the people that helped him, he gave some coconuts. And well, now it's full of coconuts everywhere in the whole country. But more here, Manzanillo was the first place that received the coconuts. Okay, so you can read that so many things derived from coconut. Piña colada, you know piña colada? Cocadas, las cocadas, you know, still, one family is here in El Ranchito, and Emiliano Zapata, they still produce. There's a factory there for cocadas. They prepare a kind of honey cooked with ground coconut, and they put it in the oven, and they very good. So there are so many things. This is a coconut, and they use this. The people in those days, they call chocolatero, and they call chocolatero because they used to put chocolates here for the kids, or the goals, or all the medications. But this one indigenous from this area sold it to me, but this has some inscriptions here. But this is made out of coconut. And so many things that come from the coconut. Like maybe you know the mango Manila. The mango Manila, we have many now, but Manila mangoes came from Philippines. So many things, like the hairless pig and the hairless rooster came from there. Yeah. Okay. But mostly porcelains and wood, they came from Philippines. Okay, this is interesting because this is a lighthouse, and guess what? This is the arm of the Laguna del Tule, and it was a lighthouse there. You will see in one aerial picture, but this lighthouse, well, obviously was to connect the ships passing by. Many arrive at night. Now in Barra, there's one in the hill over there, you know, but there's electricity or solar panels, I don't know. But see, you can see those pirates arriving. They arrived there between Laguna del Tule and Melaque. That map was made from John Cornelius in November 1615, landing on the beach of Melaque. And the Dutch corsair, Joris van Spilbergen. So that guy came here. They didn't kill anybody. They came for food. They had a monk, and the monk spoke Spanish, and they talked with one people there close to this area, and they gave supply food for 2 days, and then they moved to the area of Bucerias. But they were the pirates. They were in these areas waiting for the galleon, the Manila galleon, because well, in those days the galleon had millions and millions of dollars and goodies. Eh? Another one. So you can see the pirates. So September 4, 1587, 2 ships, Desire and Content. The English pirate Thomas Cavendish attacked Melaque and burned the place where the shipyard was. You remember that I say that in 1565, the King of Spain ordered to move the shipyard to Acapulco. So in 1587, the shipyard didn't exist. Only the galleys where the workers used to be there, and the workers built a cross to pray in the morning and to pray at night. So Cavendish came and boom, burned the galleys, burned the cross, and left back to Salagua. In September, he came back because there somebody told, you burned the wrong place. That was Acatlan. And where is Acatlan? Well, it's hard to describe. So he kidnapped 2 guys, Mexican guy or Spanish guy, and brought it in the boat, and they left the boat here in the bay, and they walked from here to Cuasteco Mares. Can you imagine those days? And they walked to Cuasteco Mares, and they crossed around the Calechosa to the hills where the Acatlan was. And as I say, Acatlan, mostly Afro-descendant people live there. So Cavendish burned the whole town, 30 houses, killed some people, many ran into the hills. And now there's another Acatlan close to Guadalajara. That was far away for Cavendish to go there. But that's the story of Acatlan. And Acatlan disappeared from the books. Acatlan is in maps, but normally nothing is there. Okay? So that is when, well, this is the map. You can recognize Laguna del Tule there. And the lighthouse is there. And the Dutch arriving. And you know, I was talking with Merle the other day, why they put this fish here. Because they stayed here a couple of days, or 3 days, and they were eating mero. This is a mero. Everybody knows meros. If I show this to one of the fishermen here, they know, oh, mero. And mero has white and really good meat. So the pirates were eating this 3 days. So they write a pain that. But that was when, and you can see in the top the birds jumping, and we have turtles and chickens, and so many things. But that is an old map from 1615. They were running from Salagua because the Spaniards had a really big fight with them, killing for both sides. And there's a cemetery there with a lot of people with Irish names, because the Dutch hired people from Ireland to come with them. And the boys say, oh, we went around the world, they never thought the boss was a pirate. So it killed a lot of people there. It's a cemetery in Salagua. And as I say, there's the name Acatlan and Melaque there. This is an old map from the Dutch, the Compañía, the West Indian Dutch company. Next. Okay, well that's related with the beginning of Melaque. So we almost finished. These haciendas de Melaque and San Patricio, hacienda means farm, but the name hacienda comes from Philippines. So hacienda de Melaque is like the first farm that was here. They developed this farm and they start producing oil. They used to sell wood, fine wood. I'm talking in the 1800s. And they developed many farms around. Some farms produce sugar cane, some other beans, some corn. And most interesting was the cotton, because the cotton was one product that developed Cihuatlan. The Aztec Emperor Moctezuma received 4 types of cotton from the province of Cihuatlan, and they took pearls, gold, silver, clothes, and cotton. And the cotton was red, white, green, and black. The only province in the whole country that produced cotton with 4 colors was Cihuatlan. And they take all those goodies to Moctezuma, to Mexico City. It was a long trip. Okay. How the San Patricio farm came, or how the first pioneers came. Okay, in 1847 we have this invasion to Mexico, and we had the war with the United States. 1847. We lost California, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. We lost this more than the amount of friends. We lost that in that war. But when the war finished, many people from the San Patricio Battalion, because it was a unit named San Patricio Battalion, because it was formed from a lot of Irish that came from the army from the United States, and they jumped into the Mexican army, and some Canadian descendants, German descendants, Polish, joined this unit, and because the Irish were more, they say, well, let's put for our protection our patrono, San Patricio, and then they built this image, say Erin Go Brack. It means Ireland for siempre, forever. So these guys, when the war finished, they were wandering in the area Los Altos de Jalisco, which is Lagos de Moreno, Guanajuato. They were wandering because they were good at working in farms. And many kids are Irish descendants in that area. Irish descendants. Actually, here we have a civil association called Batallón de San Patricio. This association, many years ago, many years ago, the people, descendants of this group, came here, and some wrote some books. Some went back to Germany or to Ireland, but some stayed here, and they married with Mexican women, and they start working in the state of Mexico. They were working in Jalisco, and one day they were drinking in one cantina in Lagos de Moreno, and had a big fight with some cowboys from Melaque. A group of guys from Melaque, from Hacienda Melaque actually, they took some cows and horses to over there. They sold everything, they had money, and they went to a cantina, and the Irish were there, and they started a fight, a big fight, and the two groups ended up in jail. So next day after being handed over, they start talking. They said, "Where you come from, guys?" "Oh, we come from a little place, a farm named Melaque. And they said, "Oh, yeah. And you guys?" "And oh, we are Irish descendants. We are ex-members of the San Patricio Battalion, but we work 1 week here and another week over there, and we are tired. We want to work steady." And the guys invite them. Said, "Well, let's go. Come with us." They were, the Melaque farm was the glory for them because they knew they can do everything in the farm. So they came and they stayed. And the owners of the Hacienda Melaque, they were two brothers, and the last name is Dominguez, Guillermo Dominguez and Mauricio Dominguez. So those guys hire the members of the San Patricio, and they start selling wood. They got a concession to cut wood. They prepared the wood. They knew how to do it, and they made a contract with the American guys with a big boat. And the boat came every 6 months to the bay to load the boat with the fine wood. So they were well prepared in that field, and then the American bought half of the hacienda to the Mexicans. The American wants to buy the whole hacienda, but the other guy didn't want it. So they stayed there, and then the American owner of the boat, talking with the Irish people, he suggests, why you don't put your own farm? You know how to do everything. And then the American guy suggests to put Hacienda San Patricio, because, well, they were really religious in that aspect, with the patrono San Patricio, whatever. So it's for that the farm was successful. So Hacienda Melaque disappeared because no more wood to sell, and Hacienda San Patricio started growing up. And I'm talking about 1860, 67, something like that. But then the Mexican Revolution in 1910 started. But because the ex-members of the battalion had good friends with the Mexican army and generals, the Mexican generals asked them to join the Mexican Revolution, and no one wanted to go back to fight. They say, no more fights. We have families, we have kids, we have grandkids. We don't want to take the arms again. And then they moved, and in the same boat, they moved to Guatemala, because Guatemala in those days was coming like a country, like a free country. Guatemala belongs to Mexico, but in those days became independent. And the battalion moved to Guatemala, and there is a town there, Jatipa, that is in Guatemala, and name is San Patricio, and they moved there. I don't know other San Patricios in the area, but I know there was a San Patricio in Texas, close to the Rio Nueces. But this is the only one San Patricio that I know here, and the only Melaque in the whole America. So, can I see the one? Well, as the destiny, I just say that the destiny of the Irish Mexicans. So here's when we start the fiestas, early in the morning. You know, the people with dogs don't like the shooting fireworks. You know, but every March 7, since 5 in the morning, the bells and the fireworks and the dogs and the music and everything for 10 days. Oh my God. So, and then the bull rings and the bull fights, and so this is what we are here. And when I came to this town almost 50 years ago, I was wondering why Melaque, why San Patricio? And reading, I know that my ancestors were building ships in the area. So there are a lot of pimientas in Outland because they passed months over there. So something was calling me to come to this town. And it's fascinating that every time we found more things and more things. I'm going to, this is one picture, how it is now. This is one of the latest. And this, yeah, the next one, this. And this, I like this, just to finish with some of the other pictures. So I took that picture like 30 years ago, around 6 in the morning. So that is where the lighthouse was, in that area. That is the Melaque. Another area, a friend of mine from Mexico City took that one from the ultra light. So that's another in the morning. That's Huasteco Matitos. That's the old one in the Melaque. That's another one from the whole bay. That's an old one when nothing else around there. And there, that's a nice one. So that's Laguna de Tule when the pirates came and they saw the lagoon open, they thought it was a river. Yeah. So they came in November after the rainy season. So some guys wrote a book in Spain. They sent me these pictures. They made these pictures for the book of Juan Pablo Carrión. That's me and in honor of Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo, but he left from here to California. I guess, one more and that's it. So that's a good one. So thank you very much. Gracias. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, do we have anybody with any questions? If you do, Tanya, can you bring the microphone over here so everybody can hear? Just turn it on, please. It'll take a few seconds. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Roberto.
Hey,
Thank you very much. The hacienda, what location was that? Is it the farms behind here with the Sandia fields?
the hacienda de Melaque is where the hotel hacienda was.
Oh.
Yeah, but in the beach, they have a place where they put the wood, and they with horses they take it to fix it. I'm talking about the 1867. But the workers they couldn't stay in a house or paying rent because they came from Ciudad Guzman, Colima, far away. So they stay on the beach. They sleep on the beach. All the workers, carpenters and things like that. But so many mosquitoes. They couldn't sleep. So they start dancing and jumping and singing, and the women start preparing food for the men. But so many men without wife, the women start making birria de tortuga, turo estofado, and tacos and those things. And then start putting the palapas and those things. And that's the story of the palapas, The palapas now, there are many in every beach. But they start here because the lumberjack.
So, where was the Hacienda San Patricio?
Well, they say that's a good question that I don't know exactly, but they say was close to the road to Cuesta Comares, but on this side, close to the hill, because in those days, the best places were taken, and so the Irish built this farm in that area. And there are other farms in Jaluco. There is another farm, Pamplona. That's the name of the other farm there. And another farm is Apazulco, is close to La Manzanilla. Yeah. So there were many haciendas. Some belongs to foreigners and some to Mexicans. Yeah.
So where can you buy your book?
Unfortunately, it's sold out. That's Marilyn's book. No, but I sold all my books in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to make more.
Okay, so what's Marilyn, you going to sell that one for?
Raffle it off.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
So it's a pleasure to talk with you guys.